Hi everyone. So we will be looking at the demo for the system Starfish. And for this video, we will be looking at how we can train a federated learning model using this system Starfish. So what you see at my screen currently is a site. So a site can be thought of as any server that is participating in the federated learning training. So if we think of a scenario where we are training NFL algorithm across hospitals, then each site can be thought of as any server that is at each of the hospital, and that site or that server is participating in FL. So each site has a unique identifier, and for any site to participate in FL, it needs to be registered. So if a site is not registered, it cannot take part in any project. So first of all, let's register our first site. We can name the site as Cumming School of Medicine and add a site description, which can be FL at CMS. So you see here, the first site is registered, which is Cumming School of Medicine. So once the site is registered, we can either change the site information or deregister the site. And then the site can either create a project or join a project. Since there is no project yet, so we can create a new project. So any site that creates a new project becomes the coordinator for that. So a site can have either of the two roles. So for the first is the coordinator, or the second, the participant. So coordinator is the site that basically takes part in FL training, but also on top of that, it has the responsibility for aggregating the results taken from all the sites and send it back to the respective sites so that they can get the updated model and they can work on retraining the FL model in the subsequent rounds. So the project that we will be looking at and the FL model that we'll be training is basically a breast cancer analysis model. So we can name the project as breast cancer analysis, and we can have a project description. And then for the tasks, basically, this is the set of steps that the FL pipeline will be performing. So here we see that it's a list where the first task that needs to be performed has a sequence number one. The model is logistic regression, and there are some configuration parameters. So the total rounds will be two, and the current or the starting round is going to be one. So here, we are going to run only one task, but if let's say we need to perform a whole pipeline, then we can, let's say, start with data pre-processing, then train the model, then some evaluations. So all the tasks need to be written in a certain format, and they can basically be added one after the other, and that way the FL pipeline will train these tasks one by one. So we see that we can now create a project. And the site, Cumming School of Medicine, that created the project is basically the coordinator for that project. So if we go to the project details, we see that the participants, there is only one participant, that is, there's one coordinator, which is basically its status is connected and there is no other participant in the site. So for other sites to join that project, they first need to be registered. So we can consider that the site two is another hospital. So you see, currently we are running the system locally. That is why I'm running each of the sites at each different ports to simulate and to give an idea of how the system actually works. So the second hospital, we can write it as Foothills Medical Center. FMC. We register the site, and then once we register the site, we can join a project. So let's join the project breast cancer analysis. We join the project from the site number two, and for another site, for it to participate in FL, it also needs to be registered. So let's give it a name and a description. This is Rocky View General Hospital. Yeah, so we registered this site as well and joined the project from this site. So the name was breast cancer analysis, and it's joining BCAFL as well. Yeah. So here we see that we have registered all three sites and all three sites have participated in the project. So if we go to the coordinator, if we reload it, we see that there are now three participants. The first is a coordinator, the site that started the project, and which will be aggregating the results. And the participants, these are the two sites that will be sending the model updates to the coordinator. And the coordinator will also be training some local model on its end. And then this coordinator will basically aggregate all the three models and create a global model. So to start the FL process, a new run has to be started, and only the coordinator can start a new run. So if you go to any of the participants, this is one participant for Hills Medical Center, you see that here it can't see other participants as well as it cannot start a new run, but it can see the progress for its run. We have not started a run, but we'll start it in a while. And same goes for the Rocky View General Hospital site as well. So let's start a new run from the coordinator. So you see, once the new run has been started, at the coordinator, you see that the status is standby. So the first status for any FL process is standby, and it remains standby unless all the sites they upload their data and basically. So basically, for each site, the status remains standby unless the data set is uploaded. So we need to upload the data for it to change its status to preparing and then running the model. So we go to the other participant, we see that here it can upload the data as well, and the status is standby. And over here as well, the status is standby. So let's upload the data set here. We upload the data set at this site as well, and at the coordinator site. So we see that at each of the sites, the status is preparing. So basically, it's preparing the data set and then it went into running. So it's currently running the model and it's currently the status is pending success. So if we reload it again, the status is pending aggregating. That is this coordinator is basically has taken the model updates from the other two sites and its own model update, and it's aggregating the model updates to basically create a global model. And again, the status is preparing. It's preparing for all the three sites. And then we reload it. It's running the model. We can see the logs here as well. So these are the logs that you can view at the coordinator. You can view the logs at basically the participants as well. So these participants will have the logs for their current site only. Yeah, so let's reload it, and the run status is success. So if any of the participants or the coordinator, if any of the site failed the training process, then the status shown would be failed. But here the model was trained successfully, so the run status is success. So here the run status is success, and over here as well. This is basically the UI for the coordinator. But if we look at the UI for individual participants, we see that it's success as well. And for this participant, the run status is success as well. So once the FL training has been completed, what are the few things that can be downloaded for record purposes, right? So we can either restart this site or we can download artifacts, download the logs, and download mid artifacts. So download artifacts basically are the model results that after completing the federated learning process, those artifacts will be downloaded. Or if we want to download the logs for debugging purposes, we can also download them. So if we download the artifacts, we see that we can basically look at the evaluation results, and if we download the logs, then we can definitely look at the um, basically the debugging logs that were generated during the training process. And we can download the artifacts and the logs for the coordinator as well as the individual participants that we have. So yeah, here as well, we can download the logs and download the artifacts. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.